any other highlight I would like to share? Let me check. So naweza sema okay, maybe tumetoka kwa seriousness, but maybe naweza kwa seriousness. Na feel nimekuwa mse, ninaweza make such big decisions zenye hata sijui zina head wapi. Ni risky, na feel ni risky, but sasa nimefeel kukuja huku imefanya ni with that person who can really just say, you know what, I'm confident in this. I know this is how it's going, and this is how I'm going. Nina feel no, mi lazima nipitie hapa with the
is it of getting comfortable with uncertainty, like embracing uncertainty, like,
yeah, I would say nimeanza ku embrace uncertainty. I'm not sure where this is going, but I feel like this, so I'm no longer, I'm no longer that girl who used to play safe, that
koshi as Nyambura.
No, hiyo na feel nimeacha. Na ni something sikuwahi kuwa nayo. I was that girl who really, before nifike, I have to 1 + 1 2 + 2. So na feel, you know what, nalo ndio inaenda.
Let me remind you of a story. I remember, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kenyan Dream Podcast. This is episode 4, and I'm very, very excited because for the first time, I have a guest here live in studio. My friend Alice Nyambura has driven down from Reading all the way to Southampton to come and be the first guests live on the show. So thank you so much for making time for us.
You're welcome.
Karibu sana. And first of all, I want to say, when you found out about this podcast, you were very excited, and you actually offered to come and just have a conversation. So thank you so much for making time.
Yeah.
For context, we were just talking off camera before, and you said we've actually known each other for 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
If not longer. So, and in that time, I've seen you grow. I've seen you. I've seen God has been great to you, and I do not say that lightly. And now, going back to those days in KU when I used to throw parties as a DJ, and you went to the same. You were in the same class with my now wife, and since then until now, it's just been an upward trajectory. So I know in the upward trajectory kuna kuagana ups and downs bado. Still the general curve ni kwenda juu, but God has been great.
God has really been
to
faithful.
Both of us. And now you're working and living in the UK. It's almost 2 years, right?
It's
2 years in
a few months,
in a couple of months. 2 years. And I remember that day when you were flying out. I want to take you back to that day. We get job, and there was the whole FAMO. How are you feeling your time?
Okay, first of all, Felix, I'll say thank you for this opportunity.
Okay.
It's an opportunity. Yes, I said I would like to come and share something, and I'm so grateful you accepted it. And tell you you're doing a good job. It's a journey of 1,000 miles. It's always starting somewhere.
Yes.
So if you take me back to that particular time, I'll first take myself back to the day I received the news, or rather the time I made up my mind I was gonna relocate. It was not so easy for me to just say yes. I really had to take time. I had a chat with a couple of friends and family, and the best thing is everybody was encouraging me to relocate. And I remember I was so overwhelmed with mixed emotions. Relocating, it's not easy,
Easy.
Both mentally, psychologically. It can be a bit, you need to think about what you're doing. You need to have your set goals on what you're going to do. So I remember that particular time, I just had mixed emotions and feelings. I was like, am I really doing this? And yes, on the other side, I was so grateful and excited. And having to fly out, like it was the first international flight, I was really excited about it. But still, I really I wasn't sure of what I'm coming to meet,
And I can understand, because I know what you were doing before, and now having to leave that and come and start all over again, because this was how many years after graduation? That was probably
7 years.
7 years. You were already like umeanza life Kenya, and now you're told you have a chance to start all over again in a new place, and I can relate to that. Unafeel ni kama ulikuwa umejijengea a certain foundation.
Exactly.
And now you have to forget that. Move to another country. And how much information did you have, like, about what you were coming to? Because yes, people were encouraging you, but truth is they were encouraging you not from a point of information, but from a point of maybe hope that when you go out there things will be better.
Yeah.
But how much yourself, how much information did you have about what you're getting into?
I think rating out of 10, maybe 2. I can give it a 2.
2 out of 10.
Exactly, because I had not really thought of exactly, the way you can find out. Maybe I think on the other side, I would say that since I had friends who are on this other side, I really didn't feel that helpless. I didn't feel, I was a bit hopeful, and I knew somebody will bring me through. So I didn't take my time to really, I think, get to know whether research or how you get the information on what you're coming to encounter or do. And that's something I would encourage somebody who is out there thinking of relocating. You should really do something. You should research about so many things, every other thing.
I can agree, because even now when people ask me, like, how's life out there? What do I need? I'm very careful about the kind of advice you give. And even on this show, I would say I'm not an expert in relocate. I am not. I've only done it once, and I've only done it for myself. I am not an expert. So when you say you looking back, you'd say that amount of information was 2 out of 10. Could you point out some of the things that now you know that you didn't know?
Exactly. Like, even the basic things, even not really thinking hard about it. Simple things like, what do these people, how when I get there, what do I expect in terms of food, transport, in terms of how to maneuver? Because when I came in, the first thing I went for shopping, I didn't find our, international. I didn't like. I go in a supermarket, but I don't get what I was getting at home. I'm looking for rice. There's none. I'm looking for, like, what we eat back at home. And I didn't know, like, you have to when you come in, when you come in the country, you have to go look for those international food stores. So I remember I stayed for like a week without having. I had to eat the fast foods but I was really missing to have a proper meal.
So you stayed a week before you had a
proper home meal. So I was just feeding on, like chips, chicken, because mainly in the UK it's fish and chips, fish and chicken.
Or the fish and chips shops.
Exactly, they're all over. Even when you go to the supermarkets, they have all these frozen foods. They have chicken, but you cannot, proper meals. So I think some basic information, like where to get your meals, how to maneuver back at home. I can say, because I think it's because I was not driving. I was not really so much into Google Maps. But when you come in here, everything is Google Maps. There is nobody
even
on the way.
The bus.
Exactly. And there is nobody along the way to ask. Like back at home, there are touts, drivers, there are all these people. Exactly. Hakuna, nobody is here to. It's you and you alone, So I think before you relocate to any country, you need to familiarize yourself with the way they live, basic things, Luckily, in the UK, they use English. That's the language. Some people need to relocate to places where they don't use the language you're familiar with. So, but again, sometimes you find yourself like there's some language barrier because of the accent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one really, stressed me up in the beginning. But like what I was saying, you need to have a proper research on how you are supposed to maneuver when you get in there. Basic things, and again, as you and other information like how you can drive. Okay, not how you can drive, what it takes for you to drive, you know, such informations. Before you relocate, you need to have all that information.
So you've talked about food, you've talked about language barrier. But the language is a big one, because for me, I don't think I'm in a position to learn a new language. So now where I work, now there's a lot of people from South America, there's a lot of Brazilians, and people from Eastern Europe, Polish people, not Romanians and Polish guys. And, you know, you listen to them and they have had to learn English. I think even the company runs a program to teach them English. But I don't think, even when I never thought of relocation, but I always used to say, if I were to ever move to any other country besides Kenya, it would probably be the UK, because I felt our education system is, but the previous one there was basically created by the British. So I felt like moving to the UK will be a bit easier, and also timely. You know, like we only have a 2-hour or 3-hour difference depending on the time of the year with Kenya. That was also a big factor for me, because it's very easy now to call people at home. I can say when it's 4 p.m. here, I can call them Natajua, 7 p.m. wako home.
I'm a 6, depending on the...
I'm a 6 p.m. I think that those are small things, but they are actually big things.
They are big things.
When you think
about
them.
They are small things, and but actually they are very big things.
They're very big things.
Yeah.
And now the other thing I think wase wakwagi may take into consideration is the cost of relocation.
That's another thing.
Had you factored that in properly?
I think the whole idea of relocating came in when I was financially stable back at home. Like, nice. I didn't have to really struggle with finances. But again, there are so many things. There is a protocol, and everything revolves around money, you know. So I wouldn't say that was an issue to me, but you have to really be prepared, because I spent money. You have to really be prepared. Okay, my dad came in through for me. That was, you know, a bonus for me. But you have to really be prepared, because even as you settle in, remember you're coming in, probably if you're coming to work or for whatever reasons, you have your months, like a couple of months you got yourself. Yes, alone, you know,
and that's something
you have to have.
You need to give yourself like runway for a few months.
Exactly.
Because most people think you fika huku and then
greener pastures.
Just the next day.
No.
You know, a few weeks back, somebody was telling me of a story where somebody alifika was promised a job. Akafika, they landed, and they called the person who gave them job. They're not picking. They were expecting to be picked up. They're expecting to be housed, and they're expecting to, you know, start making money immediately. Now, wako stranded, and they had to be homeless for a few months before making.
And it is in a different country.
It's a different country. It's not your country. And here, hakuna ati
nipigie nani.
Like, yeah, it's actually scary. You know, I was joking with my wife saying, Kenya, you can be on your last 5K in Kenya na bado uende sherehe.
Exactly. No, mbele na nyuma ni 5,000.
Yeah, 5K and you go sherehe proper. Huku, you can do that. But I think it's also a good thing, because now it forces you to plan.
Exactly.
I think one of the things, I don't know whether you've talked to people here, people plan, even their holidays, they plan so far ahead. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, like 1 year. You like the January 1st and the December 31st, it's a whole schedule. They've scheduled everything. We're gonna go to this place, we have money set aside for that. So I would say when you get here, you get into a situation, I can say it's a bit helpless, and it pushes you. you see that helpless situation, you're here now.
And the helpless mean you're not expecting anyone to come through.
I wouldn't say vulnerable, but I would like to say vulnerable in a way. When you get here, you're in a situation whereby you first, a lot of things frustrates you. I don't know whether to use the words frustrates you, but you feel like you're in a situation whereby you don't feel nashai kuexplain na jina fulani, but uko kwa ile situation una feel uko si home.
You actually felt that?
Yeah, uko si home. So it gives you a push. Because you go yourself,
Because for
gives
context,
you a push.
For context, when I think about it, when you are living where you are living, you are always about 1 hour away from home. You could
exactly
1 hour you could go to your folks' house. And for me, I've actually thought about it my whole life, even through high school. I've never been more than 3 hours away or 2 hours away from home. So it's actually scary now thinking I'm probably I don't even know how long, but it's far from home. And talk to me more about that vulnerability. Was there a point when you felt you actually doubted or asked yourself, what did I get myself into?
I think along the way, definitely not the first time, because let me say on the flip side, you're excited. There is a conflict between being excited, being vulnerable, because you're excited, you've traveled, you're in a new country, you wanna try foods and everything, you wanna try, these big shops. There are those shops you used to hear when you're back home.
You're getting into the supermarket for the first time.
Exactly. You just want to go and shop in Zara. You just, and you feel excited, but there's always something that is bringing out the vulnerability in you. Because I remember the first time I was going somewhere, I was using a bus, I was not able to converse properly with the driver because we are frustrating each other, the accent,
he doesn't
but looking back, I remember what exactly the driver was telling me now, because by now I'm able to understand the accent, I'm able to understand it properly, so I'm even able to converse with people. But there's always that aspect here, is it I'm not understanding English or what is wrong?
Yeah, because even me, the first time I went to where I work now, first few weeks, I probably understood 40% of what the supervisor was saying. Now I understand him, but back then alikuwa anaongea English, but it's such a deep Southern England accent, but that I barely understood what he was saying.
And then let me tell you, when you come in the first month, there's a lot of calls you have to make, whether it's BRP, whether it's you're looking for a house, whether you're applying for this. So there's a lot of calls you're making, a lot of calls. And all those calls, sometimes they're very frustrating. Because you keep on, pardon.
The government.
There's always something. Because there's always some procedure going on.
Pardon? What did you say?
What did you say? Please. So, but now I think reality hits in when now that excitement is gone. At some point that the excitement definitely will
die down, and now
exactly now the reality of the things comes along the way. And I would say it's a situation that boosts your confidence. It's a situation that boosts your confidence
when you look back at the things that you've actually overcome,
exactly
gone through, undergone.
Relocating abroad boosts your confidence in that, first of all, it's not easy, even leaving the whole clan back, the whole family and everyone, and coming to start over with totally new people. Then there's culture shock, there is culture shock, and having to overcome all that, you just come out very confident, you come out very confident.
And now, even me, somebody was pointing out to me and telling me, don't, because I was telling them, because I was like playing it down, saying, stick to book. People have done it. It's not a big deal. But then told me, no, take such courage that you need to like congratulate yourself for, first of all, being confident, because it's a risk. At the end of the day, it's a risk.
It's a risk.
There's people who come back and it's not for
go
me.
back home.
And go back home. And now the other thing is, this is now my experience. I want to ask whether you've experienced the same. Like you come here and you need to prove yourself. People, no one cares about what you are doing back home. Like for me, you have to prove yourself. Have you experienced that? That now you're the underdog. Sijui kama umeexperience kitu kama hiyo
back home, to prove to people back home?
No. Like here, you come, you're even at your place of work, you like need to earn their trust that you can actually. Have you experienced that?
I would say the thing is, yeah, because you feel like you're somewhere low. Of course, you're on the low when you're starting, but you need to climb a day at a time. But I wouldn't say I've experienced it so much.
Maybe because maybe the kind of work you do is not the same as what I do.
Maybe, probably.
Here, in our place, there's a bit more hierarchy, and you get more responsibility as time goes by.
As time goes by.
But from my experience, when you're starting, it's like people don't believe you can actually do this until now. You take time and
they learn.
They actually start to respect you. So that's something I have experienced. And back home, I've never experienced kitu kama hiyo.
Back home, uja experience story ati una feel you need to prove something, watu wananishukishia or something, you know.
So now, at what point did you now feel like you've settled?
Okay, I would say I think I was so lucky enough to find a good, I would say it's a family, good lot of people, but that was after some time. You find people who are really ready to take you through, you know, and that boosts your confidence and courage to continue.
Are these now colleagues? Is your employer or?
No, I just met a friend, and I would say friends who are really ready to take you through, and they made it easier for me, because through them I was able to do so many things. They would show me, you know, luckily they're people who stayed in the country for so long, so they know how, you know, there's always a way people live, and you're not able, because if you go back to Kenya and somebody relocates from another country to Kenya, you're able to show them how to live. This is how we do things, you know, even simple things like getting things, this is how we get it. So I was really lucky to get those people who took me through some journeys that I thought, yes, I would have gone through them, but they would have really delayed something. So I felt that my process has really gone fast.
And is it because I know you're extrovert? You're a very extroverted person. You make friends quite easily. Is that now help with your integration? Like, did you find yourself getting into spaces where you meet people who can help you? Did you actively go out looking for friends, or how did that happen?
Yeah. Like I said, they boost your courage to do things. They show you know what, there's nothing worse than doing this. You know that you need somebody who is ready to encourage. You know, go through this way. This is the worst that can happen. You know, and you decide to take that journey. But looking back, there are things I couldn't have done because I was so much afraid of doing them.
But now you see people doing them, and
they tell you, we've done this, we've been here, we know this is how it goes, and you're ready to take up the risk. You know, and I would say with time, my journey has not really been hard. It's 2 years, but I feel like I'm settled. I feel like because if you meet some people, they give you their stories for the beginning of the journey. It was really hard, but for me, it's not been hard at all. Maybe at the beginning it was slightly, but it's really been, everything is working out. Everything is working out.
If you talk to people who've been here longer, I think their journeys were a bit, I don't know whether information wasn't as available as it is now. Back then, I feel like they had to undergo a lot more challenges, or I don't know whether the Kenyan community wasn't as big as it is now. I feel like they underwent more challenges than you probably.
Than we are going. True. If you speak to them, I think lately, even with the ways it's open, I think it's easier to relocate than it was before.
For work,
for whichever reasons. And then again, I would say information is all over. Like, I would even advise somebody there, if you really want to know something, it's always good to confirm it from government websites. There are things we didn't know. Like, I didn't know I can come in and book after I get all my things, you know what I mean by your BRP and all those things, which takes approximately a month to even have a proper bank account and everything.
Get everything set up.
I didn't know you could apply for your driving license ASAP, you know. So I would say you need to really be visiting the government websites, and they keep on changing. If you want to do something, because you'll find somebody who is discouraging you. Oh, you know, we did this after a year, we did this after 6 months. No. You need to go on the government website.
Confirm everything for yourself.
Confirm everything. Because you even hear people telling you, you know, for you to go to school, you have to be here for 5 years. No. You need to know. That's what they tell you, but you need to know, what does the government say on their website. What does it
say? Actually, I've never checked. What does it say?
The thing is, with the site, they say that they are so generous with they allow people to go to school, but definitely they are what do I say? Okay, they allow people to go to take courses and to have skills, but you need to check the rules and the regulations which are within your visa.
Oh, so
but you need to check. You need to check. Yeah.
So, like now, if you wanted to go to school and still keep your visa as it is, it's our skilled work visa, you can actually start.
Yeah. My visa allows me to go to school
and still work full time.
Yeah, you have to work and you have to. I think every other visa has what the government says about you going to school or you doing something, acquiring a new skill and such things. But I mean, you need to look, if you're researching on doing something, don't rely just by the hearsay information. You need to check, because again, you don't want to break the rules. Remember, you might do something, you break the rules, which might mess you up later. So you need to know, what does it say about me going to school?
Because there's that link for skilled worker visa,
and it's so clear. Every
time somebody asks me something, I think I've sent that link to more than 20 people now, because it lists all the jobs for which you can actually acquire you can actually find an employer who will now like sponsor your visa. So instead of me now telling them, I just refer them
which
there,
is good. Yeah, they need it's easy to understand.
It might come off as rude, but I think it's the right thing.
Yeah.
And now that you've brought up school, and I want to ask you now, do you have, like, at a personal level now, do you have plans for maybe developing yourself skills wise, or has your plan changed? Like, if you look back to that when you were coming in those initial months, has the plan changed? Have you discovered, like, you can take your time, maybe there's no need to hurry?
Okay, I think the thing with me, even back way when I was at home, I really don't do well in comfort zones. I don't like being comfortable, and I don't like, they say when you wake up and still you're doing the same thing, maybe you need a new skill. So for me personally, I feel I need to push myself. I need to just get out, because you can get comfortable, especially if the situation and the environment and everything you're doing, it's okay with you. So yeah, I'm going to school. Actually, I'm going to school, and I feel this is it's like a dream come true. You know, when you're back at home, you graduated and you did something, you were like, I want to go abroad and do my master's. I want to go. So it's like a dream come true. I didn't know I would just land in a country like UK and go to school, but definitely I can see it. It's coming. You know,
it's in the plan.
It's in the plan. It's in the plan. Yeah.
And now, let's talk about home. You obviously have people looking at you. When you talk to them, your family, I know you're a firstborn, right?
No, I'm a secondborn.
Yeah, you're secondborn.
Yeah.
Is there pressure, like any sort of pressure
from home?
Yeah, like you need to like make sure everybody maybe gets work here or opportunities.
I think I'm lucky to having been brought up by my parents, because they're not the type of parents who pressure you on anything. They let you take your time, because like I would say, my first year here, it was really so strenuous for me. I would even stay like a week without giving them a call, or a week once, like I would just do one call in a week. And my mom could just text me and say, "Oh, when you're free, just call us back. Are you okay?" Yeah, it feels good. You feel like there's somebody who is really so who really cares about you. And they don't pressure me today. Nobody tells me. Even like my sister just finished college the other day. Nobody will tell you, "Oh, do something. Can they come?" No, they let you take your time. And I remember when I was at the airport, my dad told me something. I don't know whether you saw my dad take me in a certain kakona. Babangu alinipeleka kwa kakona. My dad told me things, and one of the things I remember very well is that he told me, "You need to go and learn how to live there. We are praying for you. We are praying for all the best. And if it doesn't work, home is always open."
Oh God.
Yeah,
God
that's what
bless
my
him.
dad told me. My dad told me, if it doesn't work, home is always open for
Home
you.
is always open.
Yeah, that's what he told me. And they're always like checking up on me. How is everything? And they feel so good when they are okay with slow moves. They don't have pressure. Take your time.
That's the beauty about that generation.
Exactly.
That's the beauty about that generation. Like, they know how to take things
slowly.
Pole.
They
like,
say
good things take
to
time.
them, they say slowly is actually the fastest way to get where you're going.
Oh.
Take your time. It's slow. Us, probably our generation, we want pap. But then they were used on slowly. So they let you take your time.
And that's the other thing about, I think I've realized when the few months that I've been here, you go to work, or you go to you just go outside and find people in their 60s. They're still working. They're still showing up. Not probably because they need the money, but that's just their life.
Keeps them going.
It keeps them going. So I know this thing about, I want to retire early. I want to go
in my 50s.
Go and live in which island. I think that's not life. I think life is building. For me, building a lifestyle that keeps you happy, rather than trying to get to a destination called retirement. I don't know. That generation of our parents, I feel like they embraced that. They may not have had a lot of resources, but they were able to build a lifestyle that keeps them going, keeps them happy, without desiring too much.
I think to them, they didn't have this social media life. Lately, social media life is there, and it is really putting pressure on people. Really putting pressure on so many people, because you feel that some people, their things are working out so quickly, not knowing you have your own journey. You want to copy someone else's journey, and you don't know how they're acquiring whatever they're achieving. So you feel like you're trying, this is your journey, but you're trying to twist it to their journey, which doesn't work in most cases.
And let me ask you now, mentally, what's more important for you? Is it, getting to that place of, financial freedom, or building a life here, an everyday life? I think there's a fine balance there, like between trying to save as much money as possible, but also you also need to live here comfortably.
So I would say, like, mentally, for me, I feel like, are you at peace? Are you comfortable with what you're doing? Are you achieving something? Are you going a step ahead every other time? To me, I'm taking my time, and I feel for now, mentally, I'm okay, and I feel I'm stepping forward each and every day. And it gives me the comfort of knowing every day is a day of acquiring or achieving something new or something great. So I don't have pressure on anything, but definitely I have the set dreams, the set goals, which I know I have to balance, because I have to go to work. I have to balance this job, and I have to balance this dream, because I need to turn this dream to a job one time. You know, I need to live to do my dream job and everything. So I have to have a balance.
Do you want to share what the dream job is?
Not really. I don't want to share about that. Because again, you know, dreams keep on changing with time.
Good point.
Dreams keep changing.
Good point.
Dreams keep changing.
We'll probably have you on the podcast a few years from now, and you can tell us how.
And I was like, oh, what was I saying?
Yeah. So I want to lighten it up. I think tumeongea vitu serious sana. Tuongee kuhusu highlights so far. Tangu kam. Major highlights that you can recall, like moments.
First of all, I think kutoka nikam nimeenda I would say nimetembea this is England, UK. You know, Scotland, nimekuwa Scotland, nimeenda Wales, and now I live in England. I'm yet to go, I think, Northern Ireland or something. So I would say travel like, and I would say una learn culture za watu, which is a very great thing. I remember tunawakingi na Indians. Sometimes I just want to hear the stories about their culture, how they do things. Watu wanapenda harusi.
Wanafanya zile harusi.
Every other time they're doing weddings and everything.
Wanafanya zile harusi za sijui how many days.
So unasikiza venye wanakuambia, and then another thing, I wouldn't say I'm a foodie, but me upenda kutry out chakula. So nina feel nimekuwa in a position as a try out different dishes, kutravel, and then nimeweza kukulearn culture za watu. And again, wewe kama si ule mse wa kutaka kulana na ku-appreciate culture za wengine, please don't relocate. Because relocating, it will teach you to really respect other people's culture. This is how you do things, but this is how they do things. You need to respect that. That usi feel like wanaku offend, or you feel like I don't want to be here, these people do things like this, because actually it is all about that.
It is all about.
So na feel nimeweza kukua, you know, there is a multicultural. So I'm able to learn different cultures and live with people. It's something I've never done. I didn't have a chance of meeting.
You didn't get a chance to and na when ni mtu wa Manchester United.
I think iliturn after nimekuja.
Or you developed an interest there.
I think for me football, I wouldn't say I'm a big fan, but being a fan of a certain team ina changing with time. I think ni watu unapatana na wao, napata wana support such a team. So na feel hapana, so wacha tu support tuende nayo.
Have you been to Manchester?
Hapana, although I'm planning to go maybe earlier next year, just go for a match or something, because na feel nimekuwa so into it.
I think hopefully I get to go to a game before the end of the season.
But niliona ulienda kwa field.
I did the stadium tour.
The stadium tour. Okay.
I did the stadium tour. Hopefully I can probably book out after next season. So because also from here traveling to London, there's a lot of logistics involved. So I think it's easier to go to a place like Manchester than London.
But the thing is, you can always use a train. Because it's a easy money za kuingia London. But you can, I think, sijui story ya football na venye watu wenda huko in terms of driving na kufika huko. But me feel if you want to go to London, a train is easier.
Or if you want to go to London, I want probably do a 2-day trip.
Oh yeah. And if you check online, they have all those packages. Kuna basi. Yeah.
Nice. Any other highlights you want to share?
Any other highlight I would like to share? Let me check. So, naweza sema, okay, maybe tumetoka kwa seriousness, but maybe naweza kwa seriousness. Na feel nimekuwa mse, ninaweza make such big decisions zenye hata sijui zina head wapi. Ni risky, na feel ni risky, but sasa nimefeel kukuja huku imefanya ni with that person who can really just say, you know what, I'm confident in this. I know this is how it's going, and this is how I'm going. Nina feel no mi lazima nipite hapa with the
is it of getting comfortable with uncertainty, like embracing uncertainty, like,
yeah I would say nimeanza ku embrace uncertainty. I'm not sure where this is going, but I feel like this, so I'm no longer that girl who used to play safe, that
cautious Nyambura.
No hiyo na feel nimeacha na ni something sikuwahi kuwa nayo. I was that girl who really before nifike I have to 1 + 1 2 + 2, so na feel, you know what,
Let me remind you of a story. I remember sijui nilikuwa nimeenda wapi. This time we were living in Thika. Na nilikuwa nimeacha gari. And I remember now it was you and Carol, my wife. You know, she was now telling me afterwards ati before mpate confidence ya kuchukua gari kutoa gari kwa parking, sijui ati mwenda wapi, and it was such a big deal for you guys.
It was a big deal.
And now look at you.
Look at us. We're driving kwa motorway. But it was such a big deal. It was such a big deal. Like after tumepark, tulikuwa tunaenda Sun, we were just going for lunch. Hey, tumepark hiyo gari. Haki tunaweza, you know? Yeah. So, and then another thing, I think nimelearn a lot. Nimelearn sana kukuwa close to God. Because this one country, religion si sana kama back at home.
Yeah.
But again, nimelearn to kukuwa close to God. Because again, I've told you, I've just chosen to just to embrace uncertainty. So I keep God first. Like me feel, hey God, please just lead me in this journey. So I feel my relationship with God has really changed. It has really changed.
For the better.
Really, for the better. For the better.
Yeah. I think he's, as I think tukianza, he's been great.
He's been great. God has really been faithful. Like I didn't know. Unajua nilikuwa najua abroad ni wale watoi wa my peace, nani. So I knew I would love to do like masters abroad or something. Basi kuijua. Ningewahi fika hapo, you know. Ningeenda like for now, for me to go to any stadium ama watch football, it's easier than it was when I was back at home. So I feel like my dreams zina bring you two closer. And that's a thing. Relocating, msiana feel anaweza relocate, it's always good to take that challenge because you feel your dreams, you get closer to your dreams.
And especially if you can do it when you're young.
When you're young, when you're in your 20s.
Because I remember me, I think the framework really to me to make your decision to move. I looked at my parents. Look, how old are they now? How long ago were they my age? So if they had moved to UK in 1998 when they were same age as I am, tungekuwa wapi size?
I know.
I think that was for me that's how I made up my mind. And I took the risk. So congratulations once more.
Thank you so much.
There's so much I know we haven't talked about, but the journey has only started.
It has.
I think what I would say is me, by the way, nimecheki growth yako.
I know. Umeiona hivi. Like unajua from this point to this point how it has gone. Unajua definitely kumekuwa na failures a lot, ups and downs. Zingine zimekuja, nyingine imekuwa so successful. And now you're here, like nobody would have said, you know, Alice kumoja angekuwa in a position ako in the UK abroad and try kuambia watu, you know, the way you try and tell people how this other side is. And I would say I think vitu zingine tu ni God. You cannot even explain because mi sijatoka kwa ile familia unaweza sema, you know what, wazazi walimpeleka
ukaangu alitutafutia.
Hapana. Mi sijatoka kwa hiyo familia you knew that, you know, I'm a godfather or something. Hizo mambo sijui. Mi yangu imekuwa kujipigania, like kujipush. I would say rather it's pushing myself. Nimekuwa kujipush na kutry kujua I go myself. And I think that's the beauty of everything. When you know you go yourself, you find yourself, you have this type of energy. You're pushing yourself so high, other than sitting down and know my parents wako ama whoever wako. It's not like it's a bad thing kukuwa na wase, because also us we would want to be in a position you're giving the best to our children.
Yeah, even your kids.
But being in that position, unapata ina kupush. It's really pushing you.
That's all. And any last words for somebody who's hoping or planning to move? What would you tell them? I
would like to tell them, if you have dreams or you want to relocate, let no one discourage you. Let nobody discourage you, because unajua sometimes online kuna watu wanaambia watu, life abroad is like this and this is not what we expected. Definitely it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. I can attest to that. It's not easy. the ups and downs and everything, but kama una feeling wewe ni yule mse una feel dreams zako zitagetiwa closer relocate, just relocate. All you have to know is that you have to plan yourself. Go to Google, research ili pia life isikupige kashock sana. Research and be ready to ukwe ready kukua mse unaweza change in terms of anything. Like don't come with a flexible mind,
with a fixed mind. I
mean come with a flexible, usikuje ukiwa na fixed mind. See what will work, and then again ukiget hapa, don't get comfortable. Gaining a skill or going to school doesn't hurt, you know.
It doesn't hurt.
Because on the other side tumemit wase walikuja kitambo, some of them wamedo very good, very well. So it's good to always look on the ama kuangalia wale wase wanakupatia the positivity of everything. So if you feel like you wanna relocate, do it. Get the courage. It takes courage, by the way. Kuwa na very good relationship na God juu we. Alafu another thing, usikue na fixed mind. Usikue na fixed mind. And hey, mwisho weka unajua si wa kufuata sheria. Hata usiattempt.
Huku
itakumesa. You really have to be someone who abides
with the law.
Yeah, because it's a country where you have to.
I think you have no choice.
You have no choice. Hakunanga hivi. Then another thing, kama wewe unajua umezoea tu tunaweza sema kupita like how do we say like shortcuts. Huko hakunanga shortcuts.
Nothing.
And then hakunanga shortcuts. There are no shortcuts. Unajua hata venye ulikuwa unajua I need to get a good contact. Unajua tu within huko kama that's the period.
Kama ni 14 days.
Ni 14 days. So you have to plan yourself. I need this at this particular time. And that's what they do. Unapata mse kalenda yake ya 1st to 31st. Anajua. Washaanza kuplan what they do.
Actually, there's a guy, he's Kenyan, but he's been here for a minute. So, nimse anapenda music. I love music as well. So, attending all these shows. So, he was like sharing with me his calendar and telling me, next year, we can do this together. Like, we actually planning something for May. And I say to go today is 2nd of December.
2nd of December, yeah.
As told, like May 20th, we're going to do this thing. And you see him like planning all these trips even abroad for all these festivals. But the truth is, he tells you probably saved for a year for it. There's no shortcuts.
No shortcuts. You have to plan yourself and you have to do things on time. If it's time management, lazima uanze kujitrain mapema. If it's planning what you want to do, lazima uko unajua, I need to get this by this particular time. It pushes you, it gives you that aspect of ama kujipush kujua. Lazima unakuwa by default or by what, you just become a very good planner. They're so accurate.
Accurate to the minute, even the bus.
They're so accurate. Basi uwezi 1 minute unaenda hapo na driver anaona umekimbia batana masaa yako. You know,
wait for the next one.
No, wait for the next one, because that's how it operates. Operates in terms of time is money. Unajua kuna tule two statements tulikuwa tunasikia time is money. Tukiwa home. But unakuja kujua so many things are really applicable with now to sayings. To sayings to time is money. Sijui nini, very very much applicable. Learn on what you should have. Like kuna apps fulani ukilearn huku ujue what is helpful, what's not helpful, which apps do I need to do in terms of travels, which apps do I need to have in terms of whatever you're doing. How do I get my if it's you're driving, because you're only allowed to drive 1 year with the international license. So you need to know, because unajua hii 1 year itaerupt, what do you do? Itaisha, so you need to kujua
kama yangu inaenda kuisha.
If you're lucky enough, kama uko na msee anakuambia hizi mambo, it's good. But if kama una wewe msee, because again getting genuine people can be a little bit hard. So just go on government or website. Everything is there, everything is clear. Na itakurahisishia mambo, because I understand some of these things watu huona zikiwa ngumu, ni kukosa kujiplan, unapata umejifind yourself in a mix. For instance, 1 year imeisha, na wezi enda kwa barabara. Remember tumesema you have to be a law abiding person, because it can mess you up. So unapata unaweza kuwa more stressed up, ama unaweza jirahisishia maisha, but just knowing what's supposed to be done, how do I do it, and how like how do I move this to this other place? Inakuwa so easy for you, so easy for you, na una feel with time una settle tu na unakuwa comfortable, you unaanza kufeel ume like place, because some people you talk to them, are you planning to relocate back? No.
Are you planning to relocate back?
I think sijafika hiyo place ya kusema no, but I feel na feel kuna life yangu iko huko. I feel kuna life yangu iko in the UK.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it shall be well.
It shall be well.
Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you, Felix. Thank you so for much. Having me.
See you in a few episodes. See you number what? When the dream.
I'm just a drive away.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Felix.